Using your handwriting, you can make an incredible fantasy font in seconds. You don't need fancy paper, expensive pens. Anything more than a pencil or pen that you have, ballpoint, is fine using these 3 tips. You will add little bits and pieces on the ends of the letters called serifs. You don't need to know the word, you just add the bits. You can use my bits. You can invent some bits of your own. Just try them. Try my bits. Then you will also add thickness to the stand-up parts. They're called the stems of the letters. You don't need to know that they're called the stems of the letters. You'll just thicken them. And then you'll add little nibbly bits to random places. They don't have a name. We'll call them doodads. You've seen them in some fonts. They look cool. We'll add them to your font. And then you can use it for maps or little notes that you send to your players. Customize it for different races. Let's just take a really, really ugly font. I'll use mine as an example. It's pretty ugly. If I can do this with my font, you can do this with yours. Let's get started, shall we? Number 1, by putting little bits on the ends. End strokes, the end of your stroke. No jokes, please. No jokes. They can really come in handy. The next one, which I think is really awesome, been done by many other calligraphers who actually do this for a living. You want to darken those stand-up thingamajiggy. It's actually called the vertical stem, putting emphasis or weight on them. The third tip, adding little bits of stuff. Didn't we just do that in the first one? No. If you've seen the Game of Thrones font, you will notice it is pretty much a normal font, but with 3 lines on the O. Looks cool, doesn't it? I will show you how to stick things in what's called the eyes. The middle part of the E or the O, or those things are called eyes. And stick things in their eyes. This whole video is beginning to just sound a bit dirty somehow. Here I make a font or typeface, and I try to make it as messy as possible. And then I add little bits to it, and then I thicken it up a little bit, and I try to see what I can do. Notice I've used some attempts at stop-motion photography. Later on, I inflict this upon my daughter, showing her the bits of ends, stand-up help, odd bits, and combination. We don't get through it entirely, but she notices her handwriting improves, and she learns the techniques very quickly. I'll walk you through these in somewhat fast-forward fashion so you can see that 9-year-old girls can pick this up relatively easily. That's good to know. In any font, even the simple one you see here, adding too much to it can make it busy to the point of it being obnoxious. I will add keys and tips and clever ideas that you can do with these things in later videos, especially when you're making fonts for various different races. In the meantime, I show you this to give you some ideas of the little doodads and thingamabits you can add. Have fun with it.